The Kryn slavers had made a critical error, though they wouldn't realize it until morning. Lieutenant Marcus Webb of the USS Defiant hung from reinforced chains in the holding pen, his uniform torn and bloodied from the ambush that had killed his entire reconnaissance team. The metallic walls of the alien vessel hummed with an unfamiliar frequency that made his teeth ache. He'd been awake for 36 hours, and every muscle screamed in protest. Then they brought in his cellmate. The creature was massive, easily 12 feet tall when it stood on its hind legs. Its scales shimmered between deep purple and black, reflecting the dim bioluminescent lighting. 6 eyes arranged in a semicircle tracked movement with predatory precision. Rows of crystalline teeth jutted from a jaw that could easily crush his skull. The Kryn guards called it a Vexroth, and they laughed as they shoved it into the cage. "Let's see how long the human lasts," one of them hissed in broken English, apparently for Marcus's benefit. "Record says 3 hours. I bet 2. The cage door sealed with a pneumatic hiss. The Vexroth circled Marcus slowly, each footfall heavy enough to vibrate through the floor. Its breathing sounded like steam escaping from a pressure valve. Marcus had seen enough nature documentaries to recognize hunting behavior. This thing was sizing him up, deciding where to bite first. Marcus did something the Kryn hadn't anticipated. He sat down. Not in submission, he kept his back straight, eyes forward, but he deliberately made himself smaller. Less threatening. The Vexroth paused, confused. Prey animals ran or fought. This human did neither. "Easy there, big guy," Marcus said softly. His throat was raw, but he kept his voice steady. "I'm not your enemy. Those bastards out there. They're the ones who put us both in here." The creature's 6 eyes blinked in sequence, a ripple of confusion across its alien face. It took another step closer, close enough that Marcus could feel the heat radiating from its body. Close enough to strike. Marcus noticed the scars. Dozens of them, crisscrossing the Vexroth's hide. Burns, cuts, places where scales had been torn away and grown back wrong. On its left foreleg, a metal collar had chafed the skin raw. This wasn't just a predator. This was a prisoner, same as him. "They hurt you too, didn't they?" Marcus reached slowly into his torn pocket and pulled out his last possession, a protein bar, crushed but still sealed. The Kryn hadn't bothered to search him thoroughly. What threat was food to a dead man? He tore open the package and held it out on his palm. The Vexroth's nostrils flared. It made a sound, low, rumbling, almost like a question. Marcus kept his hand steady, even as his arm trembled from exhaustion. "It's yours. I figure you need it more than me." The creature moved with surprising gentleness. A long, forked tongue, more dexterous than Marcus expected, carefully lifted the bar from his hand. It consumed the offering in one bite, then sat back on its haunches, studying him with what might have been intelligence. Marcus started talking. Not because he expected understanding, but because the silence would have driven him mad. He told the Vexroth about Earth, about the mission that had gone wrong, about his team. He talked about his daughter, Emily, who was probably convinced her father was dead by now. He showed the creature the photo in his dog tags, a little girl with gap-toothed smile and her father in dress blues. The Vexroth listened, its 6 eyes never leaving Marcus's face. Hours passed. The Kryn guards checked their monitors, confused. The human should have been dead. Instead, he sat talking to one of the galaxy's most feared predators like they were old friends. When exhaustion finally claimed him, Marcus's last conscious decision was to lean against the wall rather than lie down, a position he could fight from if needed. He didn't expect to wake up. But he did. The first thing Marcus felt was warmth. The second was breathing, not his own. He opened his eyes slowly and found himself curled against the Vexroth's massive body. The creature had wrapped itself around him like a living fortress, its scales providing warmth in the cold cell. One massive foreleg rested protectively across his chest. The Vexroth was awake, all 6 eyes fixed on the cage door. When Marcus stirred, it made a sound, almost like a purr mixed with a growl. Not threatening. Protective. The cage door opened. 3 Kryn guards entered, shock sticks ready, expecting to collect a corpse. Instead, they found Lieutenant Marcus Webb very much alive, and a Vexroth that erupted into a fury they'd never witnessed. The creature moved faster than something that size had any right to move. The first guard didn't even have time to scream. The second managed to activate an alarm before 600 pounds of enraged predator taught him the error of his ways. The third ran. In the chaos, Marcus grabbed a fallen shock stick and freed himself from the chains. Together, human and Vexroth fought through the ship. Marcus's military training and tactical thinking combined with the Vexroth's raw power proved unstoppable. They reached the shuttle bay within 20 minutes. As Marcus programmed coordinates for Earth, the Vexroth watched the stars through the viewport. When Marcus looked at it, really looked, he saw something that transcended species: recognition. Respect. "You coming with me, or you want me to drop you somewhere?" Marcus asked. The Vexroth placed one massive claw on Marcus's shoulder, gentle enough not to break skin, firm enough to convey meaning. Marcus smiled. "Yeah. I think my daughter would like you." The Kryn had caged a human with a predator, expecting nature to take its course. But they'd forgotten something crucial about humans: they don't just survive. They make allies. They build bridges. They turn predators into protectors and enemies into friends. By morning, the predator wasn't guarding him like a cub. They were guarding each other like brothers.